10 p.m. in Accra. My name is Bright Nana Amfo, and this is news at 10 from the news hub here at Adesawe Kanda in Accra. We begin the bulletin with a look at some of the day's major news highlights. Beginning from here, the anti-corruption campaigners are asking or raising red flags on the way and manner at which 40 vehicles of the Electoral Commission were auctioned and sold to its own management staff at paltry 83,000 cedis. A 2015 Auditor General's report cited the EC for auctioning the 40 vehicles in a manner that breached the auction process. That's the story from the Electoral Commission. 16 paramount chiefs of the Bono East in the Bono region have petitioned President Akufo-Addo to consider making Bono East one of the new regions to be created from the already existing Bono region. They believe their call is in the economic interest of the region. So the quest to create more regions beginning to attract a lot more petitions. The Minister of State in charge of tertiary education, Professor Kwesi Yankah, has advised journalists to maintain a high sense of professionalism for themselves and the profession. Speaking at the 2017 congregation of GIJ in Accra, Professor Yankah entreated journalists to increase their research capacities in order to report accurately. We'll tell you more about that story later on. And on the international front, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has returned home after 3 months of medical leave in the UK. Officials refused to disclose what he was being treated for. It was the president's second spell of medical leave this year, leading many Nigerians to question whether he was well enough to run the country. And of course, this bulletin is also live on 92.73 FM. And if you're watching us from Wa in the Upper East region, if you're with us from Kintampo in the Bono region, if you're watching us from Accra in the Greater Accra region, thanks so much for staying there. This is News at 10. Let's start with a big one. And we're beginning from the front of the teachers because the All Teachers Alliance Ghana, ATAC, has lauded the move by the Ghana Education Service to license teachers contrary to the view being opposed by major teacher unions across the country. Now, the union is of the view that this is indeed what will turn the teaching profession around. ATAC indicated that although other unions have spoken concerning the policy, they believe their outburst is misplaced. The union claimed it was aware that the policy is not a wholesale one and will grind through the wheels of piloting and testing before it will be enrolled totally. It cautioned teachers against politicizing the issue. My guest in the studio is the president of ATAC, Isaac Ofori. Grateful to have you tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Let's start from here. So, you are not against the policy?
We, in the All Teachers Alliance, actually, we support, in principle, the licensing.
When you say in principle, what do you mean?
I think we believe that licensing a profession could actually lift the professional image of that profession.
Right.
It could lift the image and the status of that profession.
I see.
Yeah.
The other teacher unions, NAGRAD, perhaps NAT, and the rest are simply not against the policy. But what they think is that they have not been consulted enough, and that there are certain things that need to be cleared. You think it is all clear for us to go ahead with the policy?
I don't think NAGRAD or any of the teacher unions have said they are against the licensing. We said we support it, but we have
entirely.
We said we have reservations.
Okay.
We said we have reservations. Actually, the support was in the fact that we believe that it's going to lift the professional image,
which you've told me. But
yes.
Apart from that,
yeah, but we have asked a lot of 3 questions, and then we seek answers for these questions. Because we have read the act ourselves. At
778?
Yes. We have read it ourselves. We have done some little research on it. And we have realized that the licensing and the registration in itself is not anything harmful. In itself, it's not anything harmful. But you see, we have followed NTC activities. We understand this week, I think the council has been constituted. But you see, when you follow the woman, the acting executive director, Mrs. Evelyn Odro, you see, she doesn't appear to, come out like, for instance, NTC actually has a stance
on the issue.
They don't have they have not actually enrolled anything yet.
They are only an advisory body, so they won't even have a stance. I think that's what
no. The NTC is not advisory. They are the people.
Are they going to implement the policy?
They are the ones who are going to implement the policy. It's a 16-member, council member, appointed by the president. And you see, the problem that we have here is that it's going to have 2 representatives from the teacher unions,
right,
also on that council. So we expect that every grievances that we have now, as now that the council is constituted, we can channel through, because our reservation is that if we are going to be licensed, it's supposed to lift our professional image, change our conditions, the things that are not making, because you know something. Let me say this. You see, the entire act cannot work. The license alone cannot work in isolation.
Right.
If all the acts, all the tenants does not work together. So you cannot just pick up the license.
In effect, what they're saying is that the license is only one aspect.
Yes, one aspect of the
entire act. In the quest to develop or improve teaching.
Yes, that's it.
So you're not against it, and you think that it will uplift the image of the profession.
Oh yes, definitely.
Now, do you see ATAG as in a contrary position to other teacher unions?
No, we don't see ATAG in a contrary position, because we have said that licensing our profession is supposed to go with some corresponding, it should come with improvement in our service. Because you see, if an accountant or a lawyer charges according to his status, according to his status.
How where he or she has studied.
Yes.
That's what you're trying to pay.
Yeah. So we expect that if a policy like that is coming,
it will give you the same opportunity.
It will give us that opportunity.
All right.
So
now, let's look at the standards.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of which is that you teachers should be seen to, after training, have gone into several capacity building as one of the components for you to be able to renew your license.
Yes.
One key standard is that if you are a teacher and your pupils, your students, fail the BECE and WASSCE, it means that you cannot renew your license. You're comfortable with that?
I don't think any aspect of the arts, recommend, what you are telling me now.
No, that's the standards. One of the standards according to NTC is that a teacher whose pupils or students continuously fails the BECE and WASSCE cannot renew his or her license.
So that is what we are saying. That's what we are saying.
You're comfortable with that?
Yeah. No. You see, that's why we are saying that we are asked the NTC actually to come out to put the modules out, the modalities should be able to come out, because as at now, like we are looking at the modalities, the tenants, because the arts, the law did not actually specify clearly what the standards are. So at this point, we are not going to, you see, we have said also that anything that is going to bring the image of the profession into disrepute, we will be against it. We'll be against it.
I see.
We said it. That we'll resist it at all costs. Because teachers are now all over the country sort of agitating
about this issue. So I am assuming that ATAG believes in the principle, but you think that a lot more need to be done as far as consultation is concerned in setting the standards to licensed teachers.
Exactly. That is what we are saying. So you see, we are asking teachers everywhere to calm their nerves on this policy. I don't think it's going to go through the way NTC want it. Because, you know, NTC know that they cannot work in isolation because they need the teachers. And all the time, the government has been trumpeting that the teachers are insufficient.
Right.
You see, and the ratio is not all that much.
Teacher.
So if you want to bring licensing with the intention of demoting and harassing,
rid of some
yes, it doesn't even make sense in the first place. I would say it sounds incongruous.
So what would you recommend NTC will do? Because now some teacher unions are opposed to the idea. Some have said that, not entirely the idea, but they are talking about the standard. And one key issue is about this issue of BECE or WASSCE students who fails and the teacher is held responsible for it. What should NTC do to get all teachers to come on board and push this policy on?
Yeah, I think one of the core mandates of NTC is to ensure that teachers undergo in-service training regularly. So that's one of their core mandates. Apart from advising the Ministry of Education, is it one thing is that NTC does not, what do you call it, respond, like they don't report to GES.
Right.
It's a council on its own. It means that they are going to employ teachers from henceforth. GES is not going to have that power anymore. So the aspect that NTC is saying that if continuously a pupil or a student fails, the
teacher will be held responsible.
The teacher will be held responsible. I think that aspect will be looked at again.
You people ask that aspect be looked at again.
Oh yes, there are many aspects of the
whole process.
The ones that we are hearing, some of them are not true. Actually, some of them are just things that they are.
Which ones are not true?
You see, some of them, like something like they say we are going to write examination, for instance, has been shut down. You see, in a rebuttal to...
It is not true in what way? The NTC has not said it? Or you teachers have said that, no, take the exams out?
No, in a rebuttal to the press conference organized by NAGRAT, I think we heard Madam said that...
The exams is not true?
Yeah, the exams, they have not said, NTC has not actually said they are going to conduct any examination. You see, what I have seen, a presentation which was done by Madam himself at the University of Cape Coast actually indicated that there will be a proficiency test. It is in stages.
But you people have been writing proficiency tests all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not new for you.
It's not new for us. Okay. So like teachers should actually calm down. They should ignore that aspect of we are going to write an examination, as if they are going to parade us in a classroom to give us index numbers and cause us to write an exam. No, I don't think we are going to get there.
Let me give you 5 seconds. Wrap up for me. So for you, your concern is teachers to calm down. Talk to them. 5 seconds.
Yeah, I just want teachers to understand basically that we in the profession, we have devoted our time, our energy, everything to actually work for the good of the nation. We want to encourage teachers across the country not to worry so much about this license issue, and they should calm their nerves. I think NTC, made up of professionals and good academicians, are going to make sure that this policy is not going to go against any teacher.
Teachers.
And near
to
our benefit.
Isaac, I'm grateful for your time tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for speaking to me. Isaac Ofori is the president of All Teachers Alliance of Ghana. They're talking to me. Let's move on to some other issue. The Accra Regional Police Command has deployed police reinforcement to Soutrom in Accra to prevent any reprisal attack. We were told that this was after a Nigerian stabbed one Ghanaian, resulting in his death after accusing him of theft. The suspect, Peter Thompson, allegedly stabbed a 27-year-old Ghanaian on Thursday after a misunderstanding and accusations against the deceased that he has stolen his mobile phone. Ghanaian youth in the Lomnava area in Soutrom subsequently planned to attack all Nigerians in the area, and the police had to move in to avert any clashes, even though the suspect had already been arrested and is helping with investigations. Let me quickly try and speak to the police there exactly to find out what is happening there. Inspector Kwabena Danso is there at the moment. Grateful for your time tonight.
Good evening, sir.
All right. So we're told that you have deployed men there. What is the situation now?
The situation is under control. We've beefed up security in the area, so as we will not record any reprisal attacks. So the situation is under control.
I see. And the suspect, where is he now and what's happening to him?
because of the security situation, we've moved the suspect out of Sutu. He has been moved from there, and we've been able to secure the place so that we will not record any insecurity situation.
And of course, you said that the area is calm. Will the police remain there, or because the area is calm, the police will leave and perhaps do some monitoring?
We are still there, and we are still reviewing the situation. As and when it demands, we'll see. But as we speak, the police is still, our presence is still in the Sutu area, so as we can deal with any situation that will arise.
Has the police already started investigations, and are there any preliminary findings?
Well, we've started. Like you yourself said, the suspect is in our custody, but I wouldn't like to go into the core issues. What I can say is that we've been able to arrest this Nigerian national, and he's in our custody. All that I can say for now is that residents of Sutu shouldn't take the law into their own hands. The police is in firm control of the situation. Everybody who has any concern should address it to the police so that we can find the amicable solution to this problem.
All right, I'm grateful for your time tonight. ASP Kwabena Darko, I hope I got your title right. ASP Kwabena Darko speaks for the Accra Regional Police Command. This is News at 10. Stay there because when we come back, we'll tell you what's happening because Buhari is back to Nigeria. We'll tell you more. Welcome back to News at 10. Let's get some international news. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has returned home after 3 months of medical leave in the United Kingdom. Officials refused to disclose what he was being treated for. It was the president's second spell of medical leave in 2017, leading many Nigerians to question whether he was well enough to run the country. President Buhari, 74, walked unaided from the plane after landing in the Nigerian capital, Abuja. He was greeted by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who has acted as interim leader and was accorded a military salute. He made no statement and immediately traveled to the presidential villa. Let's catch some security concerns here. David Agbe is the Executive Director of Ghana Institute of Governance and Security. David, grateful for your time tonight. For Nigerians who have been monitoring President Buhari, this is the assurance that at least whatever security concerns they have will be settled by now once he is back.
Yes, thank you so much, Brian. Yes, you know, the world is full of uncertainty in all kinds of forms. President Buhari is not somebody that he himself planted some sickness in him. It is a state of nature, and so he has no other control. And like you said, Nigerians have been in a state of helplessness and a state of apprehension for some time now. And so I think that at this point in time that the president, as somebody who is the representative, or I mean like the symbol of the country, that he has returned, it will bring some kind of relief to all the citizens. And so it is a good moment for every citizen of Nigeria and the whole of, if I could say, the West Africa sub-region, because Nigeria is the biggest economy in West Africa. So whilst he was not well, some of us, we all expressed our undoubtful, you know, power of love and showing some level of sympathy for him. And so at this moment that he is back, we expect that the state and its architecture will be revitalized so that people will realize that, yes, our president is back, and so he will be able to put certain measures in place so that they can really revive their status as the biggest economy in Africa.
This is the first time President Buhari is leaving Nigeria for medical leave. There were calls for him to step down. He made no statement, rushed to the presidential villa. Perhaps those who are asking him to step down will still insist that the man isn't strongly in that kind of health. They want to see him. Do you think that their concerns are legitimate?
Steve, right, let me say that quite some days now, Nigerians actors have been very vociferous in terms of saying that the president must come home. It looks as if Nigeria is not working. And so all of them were agitating to the fact that he must come home. And so at least whilst he's back now, we are expecting some level of good moment for all citizens. And we are expecting that citizens will also calm down and be able to show some level of sympathy towards their president. And I do believe that at this moment, the president should not say that he's going to surrender. I mean, if the situation is not beyond his control, I think that we should hasten, slowly for a reasonable period of time for him to assess himself, and especially that his medical officers in Britain and other places has not declared him that he's totally incapable. We should hesitate for a reasonable period of time. But let's put it in this way. You see, human beings, like I said earlier on, uncertainty could just, come in a way. And so therefore, when somebody is sick, one of the critical things that he's expecting from us is that we should show some level of sympathy towards him.
Right.
We should wish him well. And so, therefore, Nigerians, we are all in the same situation. And so we believe that at this point in time, get well soon supposed to be the message. But then they are also expecting their economy will revive. And we hope that the country will recover soon. And so, therefore, every citizen will also feel happy. That is the bone of contention now.
All right.
If the economy is not on a sound
all right,
footing,
David, that's what time would allow us for. I'm grateful
to
for your time. That's what time would allow us for. David Agbe is the Executive Director of the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security. Now, let's do this finally. At age 7, did you have a trade or skill? Well, in Daboya, in the northern region, kids as young as 7 years have trade and exhibit great skills in smoke making business. In addition to the education, the kids stay up late to weave and produce quality handmade smokes. Resident told Eva Tibuka that the practice ensures the kids job security as far as they grow up in future.
Smoke making is their traditional occupation, and every home has a loom. From the dyeing process through the finished, hundreds are engaged. The only class of persons left out are children below ages of 3 years. Training centers at the various stages of the smoke business could be sited at every corner of the district to train even little ones. With great expertise, they weave and produce quality handmade smokes of various shapes and designs, and they combine it with their education. Idi Aminu is 7 years. With great skill, he is glued to the loom each day. It was 9 p.m. and we caught up with these children competing to complete the rules.
If I finish and tomorrow I'll join the Arab.
So how long do you think you will finish?
10 o'clock.
Why are you not going to sleep?
I want to finish it today.
Determined to finish the rolls for 40 cedis, They were not even perturbed by the destruction of these insects. Parents say this guarantees their future.
They'll be waiting for the results. After the results, you'll do something better. When the results come, you'll get a little money so that you don't pay education.
Alhaji Adam says it is a way of keeping the youth from migrating to cities.
Through our advice to the youth, they also realized that the staff they have run to, they were not giving anything. Most of them were suffering because lack of accommodation and other things. But as they have come back, then they realized that even the small they are getting from here is more than is helping them more than when they were running to the other Kumasi or Kintampo or Tichima to go and suffering.
In 2014, we visited the area and the dyeing pits were empty. But Alhaji Adam managed to get most youth back into the business using community interactions. Inadequate supply of raw materials remain a key concern for them, hoping a factory is established in the area to produce the raw materials, especially the thread to make the work lucrative.
Our intention is to extend it to cover up the entire district because it's a viable business if you get it across the district. I'm sure the unemployment we are crying all over in North Gonja will be a thing of the past with the one district, one factory.
And that's Eva Atibuka's report from the Northern Region. Grateful that you stayed there to be part of the show. Those of you who listen to us on 3FM 92.7, we're grateful. If you watched us on TV3, we're also grateful. And of course, to my guys in the studio, Eko Johnson Flakes, and Hiaglo and Justice Apedu, Theophilus Clotte, James Tete, Manasseh Dako, Joseph Amoncho, and of course, Ben Mensah and John Flagbo. The whole show was put together by Selob Amenya. My show director was Harriet Asumda. Technical production was done by Afet Wama. My name is Bright Nananfo. Have a great night and stay right here on TV3. Good night.